believe it? We are already to week 3 of the high school football season. The non-conference portion of the schedule wraps up this week as every one of our local teams are playing at home in week 3. Let's dig into the highlights. We kick off our coverage with Bennett Academy continuing their string of 4 straight home games to start the season, this one being played at College of DuPage. The Red Wings coming off a home win over Moline and hosting CCL rival Brother Rice. The Crusaders leading 7-0 early, but Bennett is ready to respond. Quarterback Jacob Hopel throws one up to the big fella, Pierce Walsh, who makes the leaping grab in the corner of the end zone in double coverage, all tied up at 7s. Brother Rice looking to answer back, but the Bennett defense stands tall and forces a turnover on downs as Owen Takahashi knocks the pass away. Red Wings leading 10-7 with under 2 minutes left in the game after a Daniel Flores field goal. 4th and 9 from the Bennett 30, and Randall Naughton takes a swing pass, breaking a pair of tackles and finding his way into the end zone. Brother Rice takes a 13-10 lead with 1:30 to play. Under a minute left, Bennett looking to move the ball downfield. Hopel rolls left and makes a great throw across his body to Andrew Tyson, who has a step on the Crusaders defender, but he can't hang on to the catch. Brother Rice makes an interception a few plays later to seal the game. Bennett drops a heartbreaker 13-10 and falls to 1-2 on the season. Neuqua Valley back at home against a very strong out-of-state opponent, St. Mary's from Missouri. The Wildcats won this matchup down in St. Louis a year ago. Neuqua turning to junior quarterback Ryan Moeller to run the offense as Mark Meneke recovers from his ankle injury. Under 5 minutes remaining in the first quarter, Moeller finds sophomore tight end Ryan Mascari for a 42-yard touchdown pass. The first TD of Moeller's career puts Neuqua up 7-0. The Wildcats have shot themselves in the foot at various points this season, and we see another example here as a long Neuqua drive ends with a fumble that is recovered by St. Mary's and returned 80 yards for the touchdown. The Cats block the extra point and still lead 7-6. Just before the end of the half, Neuqua now trailing 12-7. Coach Ellinghaus utilizing multiple players throughout the game to run the Wildcat formation at quarterback. On this play, Grant Larkin makes a great snag and runs it in for tough yardage from 6 yards out to give the Blue and Gold a 14-12 halftime lead. The Neuqua Valley defense continues its strong play, holding a high-powered Dragons offense to 8 second-half points. Nick Lendino makes the interception in the end zone to seal the 21-20 victory for the Wildcats, who improved to 2-1 on the year. Just like Neuqua Valley, Naperville Central also hoping to bounce back from a tough late-game loss a week ago. The Redhawks also facing an out-of-state opponent in Riverside University from Milwaukee. The Hawks hit the ground running, literally on the legs of running back Tyler Dodd and quarterback Chris McCormack. Dodd scores 3 first-half touchdowns and racks up 96 rushing yards, while McCormack adds a TD run of his own. Speaking of running, a pair of second-half touchdowns from Caleb Brown puts NC on top 44-0 and starts the running clock. Eventually, Naperville Central improves their record to 2-1 after a dominating 44-8 victory over the visitors from Wisconsin. Wabonsie Valley fell just short of its first win of the season last week. The Warriors host a very tough downstate team in oFallon over at Dick Kerner Stadium. Not really much to say about this game besides it was not Wabonsie Valley's night. oFallon quarterback Colt Michael threw for 6 touchdowns in the first half alone. The Warriors did shut out the Panthers in the second half, but that could not prevent the 40-0 loss. Wabonsie falls to 0-3, while oFallon stays perfect at 3-0. Metea Valley comes home for the first time this season in search of their first win of 2022. The Mustangs also hosting a team making a long-distance drive, the Belleville East Lancers. Metea has been a victim of self-inflicted wounds throughout the early part of the season, as on display here. Sonny McGill ends a promising Mustang drive with an interception at the 5-yard line, and he brings it 95 yards for the touchdown. However, despite the struggles, the Mustangs have shown the ability to make plays on offense all season. Here, Christian Smith takes a pass from Lucas Van Vlera and scampers 69 yards to pay dirt just before halftime. Later in the second half, Moisey Trimble takes the handoff up the middle for the long TD run as the Lancers push their lead to 38-7. Into the fourth quarter, Demarion Lewis takes the handoff off the right edge for one of his 2 touchdowns on the night. The Mustangs battle throughout but fall to Belleville East 52-19. You may have noticed that Naperville North is absent from the highlights this week. The Huskies are playing a Saturday matchup at home against St. Mary's, though this St. Mary's is from Michigan as they look to move to 3-0 on the young season. Neuqua Valley, Naperville Central, and DeKalb are all tied for second place at 2-1. It was not exactly a banner week for the CCL ESCC Green Division as all 4 teams lost in Week 3. St. Rita fell to Loyola, Nazareth was defeated by Marist, and Notre Dame was rolled by Mount Carmel. Next week, conference play begins. Bennett will be hosting a scuffling St. Rita squad at Benedictine, while Nazareth hosts Notre Dame. In the DVC, we have one of the most anticipated matchups in the state as Neuqua Valley hosts Naperville North in a rematch of last season's Week 9 thriller. Naperville Central welcomes Wabonsie Valley, while Mattia Valley heads west to visit a suddenly red-hot DeKalb team. Still time for teams to right the ship as we approach the midway point of the season. Be sure to stick with us as the weather cools down and the action on the gridiron heats up. Thanks for watching. See you next time. For Football Friday, I'm Justin Cornwell.